Okay, so wanted to talk to you guys. We talk about the driver all the time. We'll get the question like, all right, that's great on the driver. What about irons? Legitimate question. So I want to talk about lateral stability. Two things today. So one of the things we try to constantly get you to do with the driver is get this left shoulder behind the ball, get loaded up. You know, these shots are different. Driver's up on a tee, we want to hit up. Now irons from the fairway, we want to hit down on the ball. We need to hit the ball first and then take a divot. So what does that mean? We hang on our left side. Does our sequence totally change? No, we're still going to push the right hip back and we're still going to load, but we're going to do it with less sway. We're going to do it less dramatically than we would with the driver, okay? So one of the things I look for, well, let me talk about two things first. A big error I see with most amateur or a lot of amateurs is the stance. If it's too narrow, you're going to kind of get into sway zone because you're immediately going to get on the outside rails of your feet unless you're just like incredibly rotary, which some people, but most people, an easy fix for lateral stability, because we have a ton of lateral in the golf swing. We have to have lateral to proceed rotational movement to do this right, or we want some good lateral force and lateral motion. It's one of the things we measure for on force plates. So how do we have lateral motion applied appropriately without swaying? Well, one of the easy things we can do is just make sure our stance is wide enough, and you know that's going to be outside of shoulder width. We don't want it too wide because that looks dumb. But secondly, like that's going to limit rotation, okay? We also don't want it too narrow, okay? So having your stance just widening out a little bit can help with some of that lateral stability to prevent excess sway, okay? We're going to sway some in the golf swing. This is like basketball, it's like sports. If we get outside here, we're screwed. You're going to get your ankles broken, you're crossed up. I'm assuming in tennis, we don't want to do that. We want to be in balance on the insides of our feet when we play sports. We want to have that same thought here. Now, with the driver versus the iron, okay? With the driver, I can get away with a little bit of sway, maybe 2, 3 inches, maybe even 4 off the ball, because I'm going to be able to get back to that lead side, drop the club in, hit the ball on the way up from a tee. With an iron, I've got to make sure that I hit that on the way down and take a divot. So one of the things I'm going to look for is this hip, this right pocket wants to turn back toward the target. I want to create this angle, okay, rather than seeing that angle. And a lot of people think you want to load the right leg like this. That's loaded to jump up. Okay, we want to load the right leg to push laterally to get us in our lead side. Now, I talk about this in more depth. I have a brand new course out, Load to Launch Volume 2. I'll put a link in the description, and it's 21 videos, short segments, on loading patterns, the backswing, et cetera, et cetera. So if that's you, if you need help there, that course is free, and you know, I think there'll be a link in the description, whatever you call it. So with this shot, I've got a 9-iron. Now I'm pretty cold, but we'll see how we can do. What I'm gonna look to do here is, and my cameraman has extra golf balls if we need them, okay, is I'm gonna look to not sway off of this too much, but get force in the ground early, okay, to keep this hip, this right hip driving toward the target, all right, so I stay more on top of the golf ball and able to take a divot out in front. Now, if I hit this bad, we've ruined the whole segment, so, but you also won't be able to tell. Could you tell that's a little heavy, or was that like, it's on the green. Okay, it's a smidge heavy. Give me another ball. Look at me, not the target. Give me a freaking cameraman. Amateur hour, you know, he's an intern, that's okay. No, we took a divot, okay? That's good. It was a little bit heavy, but it's on the right side of the green. If you're somebody who hits it heavy a lot, okay, it's probably caused by a little sway off of the golf ball. Okay, I see this a ton. If let's say I'm too narrow with my stance and my first move is I blend, lateral movement with rotation. So you're this guy in the backswing. Instead of getting into your right side and then rotating, you tend to do them together. That can often cause a sway. Well, guess what? Now my low point is back here. So I've either got to then really aggressively get to my lead side. That can cause some over the top. Or I might just keep this low point back here, and I've got two choices. I'm either gonna hit it heavy, or I can flip a little bit and hit it thin. So if I were to stand behind you, okay, with an alignment rod like this, I would want you to bump into this and then to turn away from it, essentially, to keep you more centered on the golf ball. That applies with the driver, but especially with the irons, okay? Now, I hit the green once. Let's see if we can do it again. Don't follow that ball. It's going a little left. Catch the left side. I'll say it's a very good place to, one more ball. Give me one. You have another ball? One more ball. Good place to miss. That was okay. It's not bad. That was a little bit thin. I'm gonna hit one more. Try to take a divot. Now, this is right before the World Championship. Let's just say I'm not hitting a ton of irons at the moment. But if I'm playing, I'm really focused on right hip controlling sway and really controlling my center of mass on top of the golf ball so that I assure myself my low point with my irons is in front. Oh, I saved the best for last. There was a proper strike. You'll just have to believe me that was a good shot, because now my cameraman knows not to follow the ball just in case it was bad. But that one was good. It was a nice kind of high draw like I wanted, and the turf interaction was good. You could probably hear that too. It was less clanky. So I think with your irons, guys, again, with your driver, you can get away with a little bit of sway. You're not gonna get away with it, and I know this from long drive, you're not gonna get away with it with short irons and with wedges. And what can really help is that sensation that your right back pocket is gonna move toward the target. That'll keep you centered on the golf ball in connection with, and I go over this in this load to launch version 2, with this feeling of some thoracic extension. So you don't have excess rounded shoulders this way, and then your hip might be good, but then your shoulders are gonna drift that way. We don't want that look either. So you want the right hip to kind of drive toward the target to control the sway of the pelvis. Okay, and you really want the idea that your hips are inside of a barrel, okay? So you're gonna bump into the wall of the barrel, get loaded, and then you're gonna kind of turn away from the wall of the barrel. Your upper body, okay, is gonna have some thoracic extension. These shoulders are gonna pull together, and that allows your head to be stable over the golf ball. And that's why tour professionals look like they just turn in that tight pivot, okay? Where somebody on the range, they might have flexion of thoracic spine, they have sway, they have this, they're moving all over the place. So better players, their hips are gonna spin in that barrel because of the forces that they're producing. They're gonna have good thoracic extension and extension of thoracic spine. That's gonna enable them to control low point in front of the ball and get that really good strike. So I'm proud of this divot. I'm gonna sand it now and we're gonna get out of here. But check out Load to Launch version 2 if you have any more questions there. Totally free, link should be below, and we'll try to check in again soon.